A handful of nuts every day, you think that's a healthy habit? But what if that very handful was sabotaging your heart and memory? Sounds unbelievable, but I've seen it happen many times. And one patient made me never look at nuts the same way again. Her name was Lorraine, 72 years old, a widow, still sharp, still sociable. But lately, she often complained. I feel tired, my head is foggy, and my legs always feel heavy. No disease, no diagnosis, just a quiet, gradual decline. Energy dropped, mood sank, mobility got worse. Her blood tests were still normal until I asked, "What do you usually eat between meals?" She smiled confidently. "Just nuts, cashews, almonds, peanuts, macadamias. No junk food." That's when I knew the problem was right in what she thought was best. You see, after the age of 60, everything in our body starts to change. Some foods that used to be good can now silently become harmful. A 12-year study showed that certain nuts can increase the risk of heart failure by up to 48%. And sadly, most seniors have no idea this is happening. But this is not a fear-mongering video. This is a video for those who want to live actively, live healthily, and live with clarity. I will show you 4 types of nuts that can boost memory, lower blood pressure, and protect your bones. And 4 types of nuts that seem healthy but silently damage the body after age 60. I'll also share the surprising result Lorraine experienced after just 2 weeks of changing one type of nut. You'll see, no expensive medicine is needed. Just understand what's right and eat what's right. Now let's begin. We'll start with a tiny nut that holds incredible power. So small that just one nut a day can benefit your thyroid, heart, and nervous system. Welcome to the Brazil nut, the forgotten gem of the nut world. Brazil nut, small nut, big benefits. So what is the first nut you should add after turning 60? A small nut, but with the power of a natural morning remedy. Just one nut a day is enough to make a difference. That is the Brazil nut, also known as the Brazil chestnut. It looks simple, but inside it holds the most powerful source of selenium found in nature. Remember Lorraine? When I found out she was eating cashews and macadamias every day, I made just one small suggestion. Replace those 2 nuts with just one Brazil nut each morning, and keep everything else the same. She looked at me as if I were joking. Just one nut? But after 2 weeks, she came back with brighter eyes and a more cheerful voice. "I don't need 2 cups of coffee every morning anymore, doctor." Why is the Brazil nut so powerful? Just one nut contains more than 100% of your daily selenium needs. Selenium is a trace mineral that helps activate thyroid hormones, which boosts metabolism. It also protects the nervous system by maintaining the myelin sheath around your nerves. This sheath is like the insulation on an electrical wire. If it weakens, signals from the brain to the legs slow down, causing tremors and poor balance. Selenium also provides deep antioxidant protection, shielding your DNA from premature aging. Some studies even show it helps maintain the length of telomeres, the protective caps of your cells. After 2 months, Lorraine slept more deeply, lost 4 pounds, felt happier, and had a healthier glow. Her thyroid test results were stable, even without taking any additional medication. But please remember this. Do not eat more than 2 nuts per day. Too much selenium can cause nausea and neurological issues. 1 nut is enough. Quality matters more than quantity. A small tip: buy the kind with the hard shell intact and store them in the refrigerator. Do not buy pre-shelled ones. They spoil easily, lose their oils, and become less effective. In summary, the Brazil nut is an ideal choice to start your morning. Just 1 nut for a sharper mind, a healthier thyroid, and lasting energy. And now, let's move on to the second nut, one with a very familiar shape. It looks exactly like the organ it protects, your brain. That is the walnut. Walnut, the second brain in your nut mix. If the Brazil nut is the silent weapon that helps jumpstart your body each morning, then the walnut is the loyal ally of memory and sleep. Have you ever noticed that a walnut looks just like a miniature brain? And it's no coincidence, because this is the most powerful brain-nourishing nut after age 60. Walnuts are rich in ALA, a plant-based form of omega-3, Omega-3 is a healthy fat essential for regenerating nerve cells, helping the brain to remember more clearly, react more quickly, and reduce the risk of age-related cognitive decline. A study from the Journal of Nutrition showed that older adults who ate about 40 grams of walnuts daily for 8 weeks improved their information processing speed by up to 22%, which means you think faster, speak more fluently, and remember things longer. Not only that, walnuts also contain polyphenol, antioxidants that cross the blood-brain barrier, reduce neuroinflammation, a root cause of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, contain natural melatonin, helping you sleep deeper and more regularly without medication. I once told a patient who had struggled with insomnia for years, "You don't need sleeping pills. You just need to turn off the TV early and eat 5 walnut halves before bedtime." After 2 weeks, she came back and said, "I sleep through the night now, without waking up in the middle." Walnuts contain arginine, an amino acid that helps blood vessels relax. This leads to more stable blood pressure, less strain on the heart, and better blood flow to the brain. Note, the healthy oils in walnuts spoil easily. Store them in the fridge and keep them away from sunlight. If the nuts have a slightly bitter taste, don't worry. That bitterness comes from flavonoids, which are the walnut's most powerful antioxidants. So if you want a sharper memory and more restful sleep, and a healthier heart to walk and climb stairs without getting out of breath, then a handful of walnuts each day is a must-have. Now let's continue with a nut that is crunchy, delicious, and great for your bones and blood pressure. That is the almond. Almond, the crunchy nut for strong bones and steady blood pressure. If the walnut is the close companion of your brain and sleep, then the almond is the quiet shield for your bones and steady blood pressure. You can find almonds everywhere, from snack aisles to salads to light meals. But after the age of 60, it's no longer just a snack. It becomes a natural functional food for your bones, heart, and even memory. Just 1/4 cup of almonds, about 20 nuts, provides nearly 100 milligrams of calcium. Calcium helps strengthen bones, but even more important is magnesium. Magnesium helps move calcium into the bones, instead of letting it build up in the blood vessels and cause calcification. I once met Joe, a retired carpenter. He couldn't climb stairs because of muscle pain and leg cramps. Instead of painkillers, I advised him, eat 15 almonds every morning. 3 months later, he came back standing tall and smiling brightly. I can walk around the neighborhood now without any leg pain. Beyond supporting bones, almonds also help keep the heart healthy through vitamin E antioxidant protection for blood vessels. Flavonoids in the almond skin reduce damage to brain cells. Magnesium and potassium stabilize blood pressure and reduce stress on the heart. Eat almonds with the skin on, dry roasted, no salt. Avoid those coated with sugar, butter, or salt because they cancel out the benefits. And do not remove the thin brown skin. That is the treasure trove rich in flavonoids. Now you have the nut for memory, walnut, the thyroid, Brazil nut, and bones, almond. But what about blood pressure, blood sugar, and eyesight? There is one nut that is small, colorful, easy to eat, and extremely senior-friendly. That is the pistachio. Pistachio, the tiny nut with mighty power. You already have the nuts for memory, bones, and thyroid. But if you are concerned about blood pressure, blood sugar, and vision, then pistachio is the quiet savior after age 60. These small green and purple nuts are eye-catching, easy to chew, and easy to digest. Tasty, nutritious, and a natural pressure-regulating machine. Just one handful of pistachios, about 40 nuts, provides 285 milligrams of potassium, which helps the kidneys flush out excess sodium and naturally lowers blood pressure. With 3 grams of fiber per serving, pistachios help slow down sugar absorption, preventing blood sugar spikes after meals. Perfect for those managing blood sugar and daily energy levels. Pistachios are rich in lutein and zeaxanthin, two nutrients that are extremely important for eye health. They help protect the retina and prevent macular degeneration, a common condition after age 65. An interesting fact: pistachio shells make you eat more slowly. This helps you eat mindfully and stop at the right time, avoiding overeating. Pistachios are soft and easy to chew, making them ideal for seniors with dentures or sensitive digestion. Eat about 40 pistachios per day, divided into 2 servings, morning and afternoon. Choose unsalted pistachios with natural shells to prevent eating too quickly. Avoid butter-roasted or flavored varieties, as they reduce antioxidant content. With just 4 types of nuts, Brazil nut, walnut, almond, and pistachio, you have built a natural shield for your heart, brain, bones, and blood vessels. But if you choose the wrong nuts, even those that seem healthy, they can silently harm your liver, kidneys, memory, and blood pressure. Now it's time for you to learn about the 4 types of nuts to avoid after age 60, even though they are very common. Macadamia, the luxury nut that silently harms. Many people think macadamia nuts are expensive, so they must be healthy. But the truth is, a high price does not always mean health benefits. White, round, glossy, and smooth, macadamias are often labeled the queen of nuts. But after age 60, they can become a silent roadblock to your health. Just 1 ounce, about 10 to 12 macadamia nuts, contains 200 calories and over 22 grams of fat, mostly saturated fat, the type that can be harmful if not properly digested. For seniors who have slower metabolism and less physical activity, this amount of fat can lead to uncontrolled weight gain, increased levels of bad cholesterol, LDL, stress on the liver and gallbladder, especially if there are gallstones or elevated liver enzymes. I once had a patient named Mr. Terrence, 68 years old. He often ate macadamia nuts every afternoon because they're rich, easy to eat, and feel fancy. But then he started experiencing dull pain in his upper right abdomen after snacking. Diagnosis: mild gallbladder inflammation and elevated liver enzymes. When he stopped eating macadamias, the pain disappeared after 10 days. Macadamia nuts are soft and easy to eat, which makes it easy to overeat without noticing. Many types are oil roasted and salted, which increases sodium, water retention, and causes swelling in the hands and feet. Macadamia oil spoils easily if stored improperly, leading to blood vessel and liver inflammation. If you truly enjoy macadamias, only eat 1 to 2 nuts at a time, no more than twice a week. Do not consume them regularly, especially if you are managing weight, liver, gallbladder, or cholesterol problems, feeling tired or bloated after eating. So macadamias, once thought to be luxurious, turn out to be unsuitable for the aging body. But there are even smaller, more familiar nuts that can have far more serious effects, especially on the liver, memory, and bones. Be cautious with the next nut. Pine nut. Pine nut, small nut, big risk. If macadamia is the dangerous beauty, then the pine nut is the tiny one hiding poison. It is small, soft, and often found in salads or pesto. But for people over 60, it can be the source of several serious problems. Have you ever heard of pine mouth syndrome? It causes a bitter, metallic taste in the mouth, and it can last for several days or even weeks after eating pine nuts. For older adults, the consequences are more than just discomfort. Loss of appetite, unintentional weight loss, loss of taste and enjoyment, which affects the entire nutrition plan. Few people know that pine nuts can interfere with up to 60% of the medications commonly used by seniors, including heart medications, statins, antidepressants, blood pressure medications, and even blood thinners. Why? Because compounds in pine nuts affect liver enzymes, making it harder for the liver to metabolize medication, leading to risk of overdose or reduced effectiveness. Pine nuts contain fats that oxidize easily. When spoiled, they produce compounds that trigger strong inflammation. I once had a patient with mild arthritis. But after removing pine nuts completely from her trail mix for 3 weeks, her joints were noticeably less swollen, and she didn't need to increase her medication dosage. For younger people, pine nuts may be fine. But for those over 60, the side effects outweigh the benefits. If you are taking medication, have joint pain, or are losing weight without a clear reason, remove pine nuts from your diet for at least 3 weeks and monitor the results. From a tiny nut, we now move to a nut that seems almost universal. It appears in butter, candy, pastries, savory dishes, and sweet treats. But it is a silent trigger for liver problems, heart issues, and memory decline, especially in older adults. We are talking about the peanut. Peanut, the nation's friend, that turns out to be a threat to your liver and brain. If there is one nut that everyone has eaten from childhood to adulthood, it's the peanut. Roasted peanuts, peanut butter, snacks, candies. We call it familiar, but for people over 60, it can turn against them. First of all, peanuts are not actually nuts. They are legumes, like soybeans or red beans. This means they are more prone to mold and toxins than true nuts, especially aflatoxin, a toxin produced by mold that grows in soil. Aflatoxin has been proven to damage the liver and increase the risk of cancer. And for the aging liver, which is already more fragile, this is extremely dangerous. Peanuts are high in omega-6, but lack omega-3 to create balance. When omega-6 levels are too high, it leads to an imbalance between inflammation and anti-inflammation, causing low-grade, chronic inflammation in the brain, blood vessels, and joints. Older adults are more likely to experience unexplained fatigue, blurred vision, and memory decline, joint pain every morning. And the culprit may be hiding in that morning spoonful of peanut butter. Peanuts contain vitamin K, a vitamin that affects blood clotting. For those taking blood thinners, such as warfarin, eating too many peanuts can cause clotting disorders, cause internal bruising, or lead to unusual bleeding. Another major issue, peanuts and peanut butter are very easy to overeat. You think you're eating just a little, but in reality, you've gone far beyond the recommended amount. This leads to excessive intake of calories, fat, salt, and sugar, especially in processed peanut butter. I'm not saying peanuts are harmful for everyone, but if you are over 60 years old, have a history of liver issues, arthritis, or are taking blood thinners, try removing peanuts and peanut-based products from your diet for 3 to 4 weeks. You may notice better liver function, less fatigue, and improved sleep, a clearer mind, and reduced inflammation. From one of the most common nuts, we now move to a nut that seems the most harmless and gentle. Soft, creamy, easy to eat, and labeled as healthy on many menus. But for older adults, it is a sweet trap that can disrupt blood sugar and strain the kidneys. That is the cashew. Cashew, a delicious nut that's not for seniors. If there is any nut that people most often mistake as healthy, then the cashew is a top candidate. Mildly sweet, rich, easy to eat, and soft in texture. Cashews often appear in healthy snacks, breakfast cereals, and snacks for older adults. But behind that appeal lies a series of silent health risks. Cashews are nuts with unusually high carbohydrate content. Just 28 grams of cashews, about 16 to 18 nuts, contain nearly 9 grams of carbohydrates, but only 1 gram of fiber. This causes blood sugar to rise quickly, increasing the risk of abnormal blood test results, fatigue after eating, and abdominal fat buildup. For people over 60 who are sensitive to insulin, this is a sweet blood sugar trap. Cashews contain high levels of oxalates, compounds that can bind to calcium, reduce calcium absorption, cause osteoporosis, form oxalate stones, cause back pain, kidney failure, and painful urination in older adults. Those with a history of kidney stones should avoid cashews, even as a snack. Few people know that cashews contain enzyme inhibitors, compounds that inhibit digestive enzymes. This reduces the ability to digest protein. It causes indigestion, bloating, and nutrient deficiencies despite adequate intake. For older adults, this is a silent cause of muscle loss, weakness, and fatigue. Cashews are soft, sweet, and very easy to eat unconsciously while watching TV or reading. Just 100 grams of cashews contain nearly 550 kilocalories and 44 grams of fat. If you eat based on craving, you may unintentionally consume more than needed, leading to weight gain, increased cholesterol, and high blood fat. Few people know that raw cashews contain urushiol, a substance found in poison ivy. That's why raw cashews must be steamed or roasted thoroughly before eating. However, many commercial products do not clearly state the level of processing. Cashews are not poison, but they are definitely not suitable for daily consumption after age 60. Instead of eating cashews, choose white heavy checkmark almonds high in fiber, good for heart health. White heavy checkmark pili nuts low in carbs, easy to digest, protect blood pressure. White heavy checkmark walnuts good for the brain and sleep. So we have gone through 4 types of nuts to minimize after age 60. Macadamia, too much saturated fat, easy to gain weight and cause gallstones. Pine nut causes metallic mouth, reaction, interferes with medications. Peanut causes inflammation, weak liver, and blood clotting disorders. Cashew raises blood sugar, high in oxalates, reduces digestion. You might be thinking, oh, so what's left to eat? Don't worry. We don't need too much. Just choose wisely. Just 1 or 2 healthy nuts each day can help you. Increase energy, boost memory, reduce joint pain, and lower blood pressure. Sleep better, live longer, and live healthier. Are you ready to recap with me? 4 types of nuts to eat after age 60. Brazil nut provides selenium, good for thyroid and nervous system. Walnut rich in omega-3, boosts memory, supports sleep. Almond protects bones, heart, and memory. Pistachio lowers blood pressure, stabilizes blood sugar, improves eyesight. 4 types of nuts to limit. Macadamia high in saturated fat, easy to gain fat, and cause gallstones. Pine nut causes prolonged bitter taste, interferes with medications. Peanut prone to mold, blood clotting disorders, causes inflammation. Cashew raises blood sugar, high in oxalates, causes kidney problems. You don't need to follow a strict diet. You don't need to take a bunch of medications every day. You just need to understand your body after age 60 and choose wisely what you put into your mouth. Every handful of nuts, every meal, every decision is a vote you cast for your own future health. What about you? Which nut will you start eating tomorrow? And which nut will you say goodbye to after today's video? Leave a comment. I read every line and always appreciate your sharing. If this video helped you better understand health after 60, please like and share it with your loved ones. We are here to help you age slowly and live deeply. Live with a sharp memory, a healthy heart, and steady steps. You deserve that.